Hi everyone. In this video, we will try to implement the Grep tool in a Haskell language. So, as you all know that Grep is the tool that is used for searching a certain keyword in a file or in a directory. So, let's just look at the man pages first. Okay. So, if I type, let's say any term, this, and I type, gave it a file path. Okay, it will return me all the occurrences of that word on each line in a certain file. I can also pass in a flag like -n, that will also give me the line number as well. And I can also, I guess, see the file name as well. I think we need to give it -f flag. Oh. I guess then -h flag. Yes, -h flag. So you can see the file name if you are passing a directory, or you can also get the line name as well. So we will try to implement the same thing in Haskell. But for the sake of simplicity, we will not be taking any flags. By default, we will be showing the file name and the line number, and we will be there's a library for highlighting basically the words on the terminal, but we will try to implement it if the time permits. If not, then we will not. So let's start. I have created an empty folder called Grep Haskell, and I will do cabal init, and it is asking me what type of package I want. Library plus executable. Okay, let's have a latest Grep Haskell. Okay, let's have first. Then text is going to be type source. Again, let's have test cases as well. Okay, so our basically project structure is ready. Let's try building it, and let's try running it as well. You can see it is running. So let me just quickly have two windows. One for GSCID and the other one where I can write my code. Great. So in our source, first of all, I will have a directory. I will call it, it should be same name as our project name, so I'm going to call it Grep Haskell. Let's just call it Grep. Then I will have the file name core.hs, where we will sort of begin writing our code. So module grep.code where something. Now we need to add this module name in our cabal file. So library, we have mylib, so we should also add it here, my grep.core. Okay, so and in our app main, instead of importing mylib, we should import grep core, and we will be from grep core we will be having a function, let's call it main dash, and now this guy. Okay, this is working. Let's try running our code. So let me just have another window, say cabal run. Great, so I can print. So far so good. Now let's start with actually writing our code. So first of all, like grep, right, we will be having we will be taking two command line arguments. First one is going to be basically the term that we want to search, and the second thing is going to be, it can either be a directory or it can be just a file name. For the sake of simplicity, let's start with the fact that we will be getting two things, a keyword, and we will be getting a file path. So in order to take command line arguments, we need to import a library called system.environment, and let's have it as a qualified. I will call it sys, and I want to write a function called okay, let's start by writing it in the main itself, sys.getRxx, and it is going to give me the list of whatever the arguments that I have passed. So we'll say arg list. Let's just print the arg list here right now. Say cabal print first, then I'm going to say cabal exec, the executable name. I'm going to pass in some argument, let's say. Okay, so I'm getting the argument here. So the first thing is going to be the keyword, and the second thing is going to be maybe the path of the file from which I want to search in. So first of all, we need to do some exceptional handling here. Let's say that if the argument list is the length of arg list is less than 2, less than 3, less than 2, that is 1, that means 1 or 0. In that situation, I just want to throw an error and I want to like stop the program there itself. So saying that you have not provided enough arguments, I'm going to say then I'm going to print it, not please provide correct arguments. So I feel like we should move this to a separate function. Let's call it fetch vals. Let's call it fetch vals, which is going to return us either some error message, which is going to be in the form of text, or it is going to give us a new type, which would be it is going to give us the list of arguments. Okay, fetch vals, and move these two lines here, and there's going to be this because it's going to be an either, so we need to do case matching. So if it is the error message, I'm going to print that error message. I'm going to print it, and I'm going to I guess that's all I need to do. Otherwise, if I get the list of arguments and the arguments are correct, that means the length is 2, the first one is the keyword and the second one is the valid file path or the valid directory path, in that situation I can proceed with actually processing or actually doing the searching. So if I get the correct result, so I'm just going to say process searching. So let's create a function named process searching that will take a list of string and it will not do anything. It will be undefined. And we need to have then else. Okay, let's actually put undefined here. Nope. Let's delete this and say undefined. Great. So we need to import first of all two things. First of all, we need to add the text library. So here we go. Then we need to import it. So I'm going to import it as qualified data.text as t, and we need to import for to printing a text we need to import data.text.io, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to import an unqualified version of data.text, and there I will just have the text type. Okay, I guess we don't need this, we will need it soon. So fetch vals, now I have the arg list. So if the length, we will do case matching here, arg list of, if the length of arg list is okay, let's just have an if else. The length is less than 3, sorry, I mean less than 2, and I'm going to say not enough arguments. I'm going to return it keyword with the left with the message saying not, okay, I'm just going to say please provide argument, please provide search term and search location in as arguments, and else would be an undefined part. Okay, so it is giving us the error that it is thinking that this string is a string type, but I want it to be a text type. For that we need to enable the overloaded strings extension. So yes, we have solved the issue that whether the arguments are enough or not. We want two or more arguments. So obviously if we will be taking the first two elements only. So yeah, I get the 2 or more elements. What I want to do is, let's say if the second argument that we are getting, that is the file path, whether it is a valid file path or not, that is something that I want to check. So how to do that? So in order to check whether the search location is a valid file path or not, we can take the help of a library, and in which a function exists called does directory exist. Okay, it is from this directory package. So we will provide it a file path, and it is going to give us a boolean, and it is also going to give, there is another function called does file exist, that is checking whether it is a file or not. So what are we going to do is, from this list we will take the second element, which is going to be the search location. We will check whether it is a file or whether it is a directory. So right now we just need to identify whether it is either a valid file or whether it is a valid directory, and if it is neither, then we are going to throw an error. So for that I need to import the library or directory, and I think it is system.directory or something. Yes, system directory. Oops. So I'm going to have a do here. Let search location is equal to our list second element, and I'm going to say does file exist search location. So I'm going to say call it fp file bool, or does directory exist. I'm going to call it deepen, that is directory pool. So if fb or db both, if or db, if both of them are false, then I'm going to say pure left. I'm going to say search location not valid, must be either file path or directory path. And I'm also going to attach the search location here. Attach search location. Let me just enclose this in bracket. If then else undefined. So search location is a string. I need to convert it into text, so I'm going to use t.pack. Okay, all good. So if either of them are a fp or db, that is a file or a directory, then it means that all is good. We can again build upon this function, we can add more and more validations here. So this is good. Fetch vals, then now we can just return our arg list. Right. Okay, and now we are going to do this processing of it. So let's think about it. Okay, so what we can do is, first of all, we are able to instead of returning the arguments as a list, I'm going to create a new type which would have like what is the search term and what is the search location, and also what is the type of that search location, because we are here actually checking it, so we should not check it again here in this function. So I'm going to create a new type. Let's say R type. So I'm going to say just search type, and it will have two things. First of all, it is going to have search term, which is going to be text, and the search location, which is going to be a file path, and again the search location type, which is going to be location type. It could be another type, location type. It could be either a directory or directory type, or it could be a file type. Let's give it an EQ and show instance, and here I'm also having, we don't need to have an EQ and show instance for these two types, but fine for now. Now here so I need to modify this a little bit. If fp is true, then I'm supposed to return this new type. It's called search type. So I'm going to say pure right. I need to create the type now. It's going to be search type, where the first thing is the search term, which is, I guess, the head of the arg list. Then the second thing is going to be the search location, which is going to be the second element. Oh, we have search location. Great. And the third thing is going to be the type. So it is a file exist, does file exist, so it means it's a file type. So I'm going to say file type. Okay, so I guess this is fine, and I'm going to have an else, and I'm going to have an else if. Yes, this is very imperative, but it's fine. Then I'm going to have it as a db. Then it should be directory type, and then final if, then the final else would be pure. It's going to be a left type, where I'm going to mention search location is invalid. Of arg list. We need to pack it inside the text. Okay. Same thing here. And then couldn't match the type. This type is now going to be search. So I'm just going to disrupt all the fields from search type by using something like this. Now this will ask for record wildcards extension to be enabled. Great. Now we have the search location with us, we have the search term with us, and we also know what is the type of the search location. So we need to do searching. Let's first do the case matching of exactly what we have. So what is it? Search location type, right? So search location type. So let's assume that it is a file type. In that situation, we are going to do something. If it is a directory type, in that situation we will be traversing the whole directory, okay, and we will be getting all the files, and we will be searching in all those files. So let's think about the file type first. In that situation, I'll just call a function called search file that would contain the search term and search location. Let's add the function called search file. It will contain text and search location of the file. Okay, now let's think what should we route the search file. So the tricky part is that while searching, as you can see when I say grep I also want to print the line number. So in order to print the line number, I guess I'm going to need a helper function. Okay, first of all, let's extract the content out of the file path. So I want to read it as a text. So I'm going to say text read file t.read file file path. So here is going to be search term and search location. And this will be search location. I'm going to return it as content. And one important thing is that make sure to have a try and catch block for this read file, because it may happen that in the directory or in the file that we are trying to read from may not be a readable file. It may be a binary file or something. So I think I will get an IO error here. So I'm going to say catch e, so I'm going to say print, and I think I need to add control exception. Couldn't match the type because let's instead of let's have this, and again I don't want this as the file, just the file content. I need it to have it as the lines of the entire content. So I'm also going to apply lines on it, and I want the whole thing to be so we should be using a functor, because this read file has the IO text type. So if I want to apply the lines function into it, I need to penetrate the IO structure and apply the string inside to it. So that's why I'm using functor here. And in the catch block, I would say that I want this to be an either type, either IO error or what else? Either it's going to be a t.text. it's not going to be the content, it's going to be content, either content. So I need to do case matching content of, if it is left it means that if it is an IO error I'm just going to ignore it, I'm not going to do anything. Otherwise if it is the content, then I would be doing a search string within the content. I understand that search string does not exist, so let's write search string. So what search string is going to do is that so it will have the list of text, and we are going to have the search term as one. The search term here as well. Text sorry. So it's not the content, it's going to list. Okay, fine, let's call it content. Okay, so far so good. So what I want to do is so I will be searching here. So what I want to do here is that I have the search term, I have the list of text. On each line I want to check if our search term exists there or not. If it exists there, I'm going to print that line. If it does not exist, I will not be printing anything. That's all we have to do. So how to do that? In order to do the searching, there is a function exists in the text library. It's called indices, I guess. Yes. So the thing is, this indices, it takes the text, it takes basically search term and the haystack, and it is going to give us the list of indices, list of offsets where it exists. I guess we don't really need at which point it exists. We will be needing it in the future when you want to highlight those parts, but right now we just want to check if it exists or not. So yeah, if the list is non-empty, then we can see that this text exists on that line. I guess I'm going to need an internal function because it works on text to text. We have text and a list of text. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have an internal function that takes the search term and the haystack, basically the big stack, the big string from which we need to search from, and this haystack will come from haystack content, and I'm going to map it. So it is going to actually, I don't think map is the right function. I think map him should be the right function, where search string underscore is going to be text and IO operation. Search term, haystack, So what should be in this search string function? First of all, we will be performing this function indices with search from this tag, and we are going to do a case operation, case matching. So if the list is empty, we're not going to do anything. If the list is non-empty, in the other case, we are going to be basically printing that particular line. So the haystack. It says that indices does not exist because it is part of this data text internal search. Okay, and I think that's really all, at least for the file part. Let's try to compile and run it. It hit the undefined at line 51. So what is line 51? Okay, it is this. Okay, what did you write? Okay, that's great. Let's write a term that actually exists. Return. Okay, wow. So we actually got what we wanted. You can see return this stuff. It is exactly here. Okay. Two things. First of all, we also want the line number. So let's try to have line number here as well. For that, it's actually a very simple thing. So we have content, basically the list, and we will be taking each and every element. So I want to pass in an extra argument. Let's call it n. So an integer which is going to be a line number, and while printing it, I'll be also printing the line number as well. So I would say it is an integer, right? So I guess I have to convert it into string, and then convert that string into the text using flag. So I guess that is the only solution. Okay, variable not in scope, of course. So I mean, there are multiple ways to do it, but I would say a simpler solution would be let's remove all this. Let's call search string underscore with the search term content and with the 0, and we are going to do the second thing is going to be the list, and we are going to do a pattern matching. That is when the list is empty, we don't care about this, we will be returning. And in the other scenarios, it will be haystack, and the remaining lines. Okay, so in that situation, we are not going to stop, we are going to call function search string with search string underscore with search term lines and line number plus 1. The spelling is wrong. Okay, and here, okay, yeah, here on this line it doesn't matter what search term is, and here I'm printing it. I should not stop. I should call search string basically this line. One second. A lot of errors. Okay, let's try build it, and I'm going to execute it. So it is 16, 28, 32, and here it is 17. So we should start with line number 1, and yeah, this will pretty much work. Now the only part that is remaining is the directory. Now in the situation of directory, we can use our search file function. Okay, all we have to do is that so we have directory. What I need to do is I need to list out all the files which exist in that directory, and then basically apply this search file function on that file path. So let's see how can we list all the elements from the directory. I think there is a function called list directory. Okay, again, yeah, it is part of our directory itself. So let's search this directory. So it is directory path. What is it? Search location. Then it is going to be files. Let's call it files. And oops, all I have to do is I have to apply search file. I'm going to map in on file search file from search term, and it's going to be file, not files. Okay, let's try that. First of all, let's see if I give it this. It's a directory, so I need to apply the R flag. Okay, it is working like this. It is showing me stuff from this as well, dist new style and all. So let's hope that this my code will also give me the same result. Okay, yeah, I need to change this. Let me just dot, and it has not given me anything. So there is a reason behind that. So if we try to print out files, yeah, so these are the files, but these are the file paths are relative. So what I need to do is I need to sort of append the directory path that is the search location with the file path. So there is a function that sort of appends it. I'm not sure if it is part of yeah, it's definitely not part of directory package. So it looks something like this. Yes, it is part of the file path package, system.filepath. So it takes two file paths and it just appends one into another. And this is a safe thing, because if you try to append it using the normal slash, it may or may not work depending on your OS. So let's just add it. I think this file path package name is file path, and I'm going to import system.filepath. Let me just remove this and let's see if it works or not. Okay, it did not give me the other stuff, so let's see why. So the reason is pretty obvious. It's the fact that we are just checking one layer of it. Here you can see that in our directory there are more and more directories, inside of which at very depth level we have the file. So that is kind of behavior that we also want. Whenever if we have given a directory inside of which there can be more directories, and we want to search the files that have if there is a file exist in those directories, we want to search there. So for that we need to make a recursive call. Okay, so for example, if the given file, if it is a directory, right, if it is a directory, does directory exist of the file, I'm just going to use this. If it exists, like this, is res of, if it is, if the res, then I need to make a recursive call to process search. Okay. Now we need to create the type, search type, where the first element is going to be the search term. The second element is going to be the search location / this file, and the third part is going to be the type, which the type where the type is going to be the directory type. Else I'm just going to have a normal search file function call, and here it's going to be search location / let's try that. Okay, you can see that we are getting our expected result. A small change that I want to make is that I can see that there is no space in between the line number and the our line, so we can just add the space here. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it. You can see that we are able to replicate whatever the Grep tool is doing, and even performance wise I don't think there will be that much difference. Obviously there is a library that can highlight the words on the terminal, but that is beyond the scope of this video. And if you want to check out the code, it is here. I will give the link in the description. Thank you. Bye.